Greetings and welcome to the Beautiful Me Club, where you can have yourself a ball, where you can find a lot of love. If you're stable, not so stable, whatever you have on your table, we're able to fix it, mend it, talk it out, cry it out and shout. Leave your worries, me, girl, I'm trying to make it. I guess I am alright. Leave your money tight, my man ain't right out in the wind tonight. We came here to party, to smile, to get your me on for a while, to get your groove back, honey child. So get your cue.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Somerville Line. I'm your host, Crystal Chandler. Now, we have a very, very, very special show for you this evening. We have some really awesome vendors who are going to be part of Boston's Fashion Week, which is coming up. We give you guys all the info and all the details. So we have the actual kickoff on September 30th at the Royale in Boston, where a lot of awesome events happen. And we actually have, if you guys watch Power, you're going to be in for a real treat because one of their actresses is going to be hosting the event. So we're actually going to tell you guys a little bit more about that halfway through the show. We absolutely want to remind everyone about our Evolution of Hip Hop event. It is coming up a week from Sunday. Wow, the time flies. It is our third annual Evolution of Hip Hop event, sponsored by Somerville Line, Somerville Arts Council, and also Experience Creative as well. It is going to be from 2:30 to 6:30 p.m. You want to be there. We have some awesome performers. Headlining it is Oompa. If you don't know who she is, you need to do your Googles and figure out who she is. She's part of Hipstery. She is an amazing rapper, MC, slam, poet, you name it. She does it all. But definitely want to come down. It's going to be right outside the studio in Union Square in Somerville, so we definitely want to see you there. So yeah, we're just going to get started. So I have my first guest here. Welcome, 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 Miss Sam Walker.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good.
Good. So I know that you have a vegan nail lacquer. So tell me, what does that mean? What is that?
So Les Cosmetics is a luxury vegan nail lacquer line. We're focused on women empowerment and diversity, but I wanted to create a luxury vegan nail lacquer line specifically for women of color. Oftentimes in the luxury, especially the vegan market, there lacks diversity when it comes to different skin tones and pigments, and I think that it should broaden the range of different skin tones and pigments offered within those brands. So basically, Les Cosmetics is going to change the cosmetic industry and offer different color, starting off with the nail polish, offer different color nail polishes that will complement different skin tones. So for example, there's two different pinks I have. One is called Kemp and one is Niche.
Nice.
The Kemp one is a little bit lighter, so for you, that might be a great fit, but for someone a little bit, for someone with a paler skin tone, they might want the one called Niche because it will fit better on their skin tone.
Gotcha.
And it's also 8-free, so that means it doesn't have the same chemicals as the other nail polishes.
Nice.
And it's safe for pregnant women and children.
Beautiful.
So a lot of women have problems finding nail polish to wear while they're pregnant, so you can still stay beautiful and healthy at the same time.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. So how did you begin this brand? I mean, nail polish, it's such a huge, market, but what made you want to get into it?
So growing up, my mom was a single parent, and her way of making herself feel beautiful is painting her nails and doing her makeup. But I realized specifically like the nail polish painting was her way of just relaxing herself. She would drink a cup of tea, have a cup of wine, and just relax. And I think that people forget about the power of the experience within making yourself feel beautiful. So I was like, wow, I want to be able to create that through my line. I'll have other women feel beautiful while they're using my product. So now, not only are they buying a product, they're also buying an experience and a brand that stands for something other than just, hey, buy my product.
Awesome. I love it. And where did you grow up? Give a shout out to where you're from.
So I grew up in Dorchester.
Yes, Dorchester in the house. Lovely, lovely. And so, I mean, when you began your, making these nail polishes, were you kind of like doing it on your own, or were you working with,
So originally when I started by myself, just through research and finding different vendors I could work with, different manufacturers, finding the best product. And what was important was finding a 8-free nail lacquer, something that was healthy, but also not sacrificing the quality, making sure that it had a 7-day last wear so women could wear it all week to their job. And now it's also my uncle, and I have an intern. Nice. So my uncle is kind of my biggest support system. He helps me set up meetings, meet different people, get clients, and I have an intern. Her name is Samantha.
Awesome. So you have an intern, you have your uncle working with you.
Yep.
Do you want to kind of walk us through the process from, initial idea to the execution of it and kind of what that looked like for you specifically?
So the initial idea was, wow, I want to start a nail polish line. I want it to be healthy. And then from there was research. So every Saturday and Sunday, I went to the library with my boyfriend because he's in law school. Yeah. So we went to the library together, and I would research everything from how much do you need to start a nail polish line, how do you wear the product when you get it, how to market your brand, do you need a publicist, how to start a website, everything. And I was just like, wow, this is really expensive. I can't afford it. That was my first initial thought. Right. And then I was just like, you know what? Anything that's worth it isn't easy. So I was like, I'm going to continue to work my 9-to-5 job. I also do kind of real estate on the side that helps supplement my brand.
Definitely.
So kind of from there, I just started doing research, and then I got to the point where I ordered the samples, and I had my friends sample it for Christmas. So I kind of gave our goodie bags during Christmas, and they was like, wow, we love it. This is a great product. So then I launched the website, and the website was a complete fail.
Why do you say that?
So I did it on one of those platforms that, wasn't really known. It kind of was just something kind of thrown together, and I realized that if I want to, have a successful brand, I need to put more work into it. It's not as easy as when people look on TV or look at other people on social media, like, wow, they haven't made, but it's actually a lot of work that goes behind building a brand.
Right. But all you're seeing is
seeing is the end product, right? So then I was like, okay, this website is trash. I'm taking it down. All my social media accounts, I restarted them all over. So then I relaunched in May of this year. So I relaunched a new bottle. So the bottles that I have now are different from what I had last year. Okay. I relaunched a new website.
What's the difference between the bottles specifically?
Well, the bottle now has a gold top. So that kind of represents goddess woman.
Nice.
And it's a square bottle versus the other one was a little smaller and not as luxurious.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
So it kind of matches with my brand message now.
Definitely. So a lot more thought went into kind of the relaunching.
Exactly, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. So where can people find your, nail polish and, where can we find you?
So you can find me I'm in one small natural nail salon in Hyde Park called Tiffany's Transformations.
Nice. She
carries my nail polish, and also on my website at lesbcosmetics.com.
Awesome. So I think we actually have some of your nail products over here, but I think we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And that way we can get all set up, and then we'll be right back, guys.
Greetings and welcome to the Beautiful Me Club, where you can have yourself a ball, where you can find a lot of love. If you're stable, not so stable, whatever you have on your table, we're able to fix it, mend it, talk it out, cry it out and shout. Leave your worries me, girl, I'm trying to make it. I guess I am alright. Leave your money tight, my man ain't right out in the wind tonight. We came here to party, to smile, to get your me on for a while, to get your groove back, honey child. So get you
to the Somerville line. I am still here with Miss Sam Walker, who has this lovely nail line. Now, we were just chatting, and you mentioned something that really caught my attention, that it kind of gives you the gel-like, texture and durableness, but without all of the harmfulness of the gel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. And how did you, this looks like such an awesome color. How did you come up with like the different colors that you wanted to use?
So the summer collection is inspired by Paradise, and then the spring collection is inspired by the spring collection is inspired by Paradise, and the summer collection is inspired by all right. They're both they're both kind of inspired by Paradise.
Okay.
So
awesome.
one is more of like a earthy tone, like relaxation mood,
right.
and one is very vibrant, like the beach, and I want to go relax and
right.
take
So this
a
is
vacation.
the earthy one here.
Yes.
Awesome. And then you were saying that you made them specifically also to kind of cater to different skin tones. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So this one is a nude. So this caters more towards women of a darker skin tone. Because the nudes that are actually in stores right now, they aren't real nudes. They're like kind of light creams.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't consider that to be a nude.
Right.
So we're actually going to be launching a nude line in January, and I'm going to have a variety of shades that represent different women of color.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you're going to be like the Fenty Beauty of nail.
I guess, if you want to say that, but not really.
I love it, though. These are really awesome. Now, tell me about these boxes, because you told me a little secret, and I thought it was just about the coolest thing ever. So tell us a little bit about the boxes.
So the boxes are 100% handmade from a woman-owned boutique in Bali, Indonesia. So like I said, my brand is focused on women empowerment. So I wanted to actually get boxes that are 100% recycled.
Yeah.
And also from a woman-owned company. So as I was doing research, I came across this brand, this company in Indonesia, and I really love them. They were great to work with, very, very nice, and also their company provides jobs for children in Indonesia.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, it helps them basically get jobs so they can go to school, because in other parts of America, you have to pay to go to school. In other parts
definitely.
outside of America, right? Yeah.
Definitely. So for Boston Fashion Week, I hear that you're going to be having your table, but then you're also going to be doing a little bit behind the scenes as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I'm going to have a vending table at Boston Fashion Week, and also we're going to be going behind stage with the models.
Nice.
So the models will have their nails painted before they go on stage. Before they have their wardrobe and makeup done. So this will create it like a real Fashion Week experience, and I think that's something that Boston needs to get on the map.
Definitely.
Create events and actually push through and make sure that they're fully successful is actually engaging different pieces that they never had before.
Awesome. I love it. And this is your first Boston Fashion Week?
Yeah, this is my first Boston Fashion Week.
How do you feel? How are you feeling?
I'm nervous.
What's making you nervous?
Well, I want everything to go smoothly. I actually have 3 nail techs. I personally don't paint nails, but I'm going to be there to make sure everything's running smoothly. All the models are getting, pampered and feeling comfortable. And yeah, so I'm just a little nervous, but I think everything will go great.
I love it. Are you excited about anything?
I'm excited to see the models work it. So
definitely. Yeah. They're just gonna walk like this down the runway the whole time. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us again where we can find you and all of your products.
So you can find me at www.lustvcosmetics.com. My Instagram is lust_v_cosmetics. And all my other social medias are lustvcosmetics as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. We are actually going to go and take another break really quick. And then when we come back, we're going to have another one of the awesome vendors who are going to be at Boston Fashion Week. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to the Somerville line. We are still here doing all things Boston Fashion Week. today. I have another awesome vendor who's going to be at Boston Fashion Week as well, Miss Vick Breedy. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, you are a woman of many talents.
Thank you. Thank
You are an author and also the owner of Genetically Resilient, which is a clothing apparel brand.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. So tell us, I actually want to hop into your books because your books have really awesome titles.
Thank you.
So she has Bitter, Still Bitter, and then Bitter Family Secrets, right? So tell us a little bit about your books, your trilogy.
Okay, so the Bitter Trilogy is about challenging relationships and challenging friendships. And there's one character that remains bitter throughout the entire series.
I love it.
And the books are not about being bitter. It shows you what happens to you when you're bitter.
Nice, nice. So where did you come up with, I guess, like the storyline? Just like out of your head, or was it based on real life?
No, so it's based on real emotion. I was going through a divorce, and I had a bunch of emotions that I needed to do something with.
Right.
So I tell people, you know, I wrote bitter instead of becoming bitter.
Nice.
So I have 3 characters. There's one character, her name is Ava, and she's my favorite character, and she's the vindictive character. And that was the emotion, you know, the strongest emotion that I was feeling at that time. And so each character is based off an emotion. And then I built from that and exaggerated to make it a good story.
Nice. I love it. Now, is there going to be a 4th book, or are you kind of like done with this trilogy?
I am done with the trilogy, but there will be a 4th book, and it'll be based solely on men.
Okay. Awesome.
I'm working on that currently.
Awesome, awesome. So stay tuned for that awesome book soon to come. Now, I want to hop into a little bit of who you are. I mean, you know, where are you from? You know, what brings you here? All of the above. So, yeah, where are you from?
Okay, I am from Lynn, and I'm also from Malden.
Yes.
I went to UMass Boston, so I claimed that also.
Definitely. I love it. I love it.
UMass?
Yes. Listen, shout it out. Absolutely, shout it out. I love it. And so what made you want to get into writing specifically?
I always liked to write. I used to read a lot of books.
Right.
There was a book by Elin Harris that I read when I was a teenager, and it was super duper juicy. And from that point on, I became a reader. And then I started writing poetry.
Nice.
And it wasn't until I was, like I had a whole bunch of emotions that I needed to do something with that I said, I could do this.
Right.
I know that I could do this.
Right.
And so I tested it out. I wrote, you know, a few chapters. I passed it to friends. You know, how's this sound?
Right.
You know, would you read this? Does it sound like something that somebody else would read?
Right.
You know, and then I took it from there. But I had no idea what to do with it once I finished.
Right. So how did you, I mean, kind of walk us through the process of what that looks like? Because I don't know what goes into publishing a book. I know you write it, you get, you know, publisher, and, you know, but kind of walk us through what does that look like?
So I think the traditional route is you get like a book agent, a literary agent, and you get, you know, and you have them, you know, pitch for you for publishers, and then you get a publisher behind you. That wasn't the route that I took. You know, I was just somebody going through a divorce and said, let me write a book. Right. So I wrote it and didn't know what to do with it. So I went to Google and I said, you know, how do I get this out here? And it directed me to self-publishing agencies.
Awesome.
So when I first published it, because I've published it twice.
Oh.
When I first published it in 2014, I went through a self-publishing agency, and they create a package for you.
Okay.
And they'll give you marketing material, you know, they'll edit for you, and they'll put it in the, you know, in the places like the Barnes and Nobles online or Amazon or their website also.
Right.
And that's how I did it. The problem with that is the cut in terms of, you know, what you take home versus what they get.
Okay, yeah.
So I learned that late. And once I found a different vehicle where I do it on Amazon now, I get more of a profit that way and I have more control.
Gotcha.
But I don't have a publisher.
Okay.
I do everything myself. I'm an independent author.
Yes.
So anything I do, it has to come from me.
I love it. I absolutely love that. Just like self-made and just running with it.
Trial and error, though.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what were, you know, some of the bumps in the road that you kind of went through?
I signed on with an internet, if you want to call it, for ebooks. I signed on with a publisher, and I signed on with them because my barrier has been creating awareness. Like, I say, what's a good book if nobody knows about it?
Right.
So I'm trying to find ways to market. Any vehicle that I can use to spread the word about the bitter movement. I do that, but unfortunately, the publisher wasn't a great publisher.
Okay.
I actually got a great following from him, but he ended up taking all of the authors that were signed on with him, all of their revenue, all of the money.
Oh, wow.
And never gave it back. So,
oh, wow. So he just like packed up and ran.
Packed up, and
Oh, my
so
goodness.
that was a learning experience.
Yeah.
I probably lost about 9 months worth of whatever I made off of.
Wow. And so how did you bounce back from that?
Bounce back.
Yeah,
Bounce back magic.
Had to slide that in there.
What can you do at that point? All
Yeah.
you can do is just start over.
Yeah.
I already had the paperback version myself, so I was still pushing that myself. He was only doing the ebook.
Right.
So it was actually pretty easy. I just took my book back.
Yeah, you're like,
and started it over. And started
reclaimed
it over.
your book.
I did. I did. Yeah.
I love it. Awesome. And what do you want? So is your book for women? Is it for everyone? Who's the book for?
That's funny you say that, because I've actually asked a couple of people, like, would you say this is a men's book or a woman's book? And somebody said to me, it's not a men's book, it's not a woman's book, it's a must read.
Yeah.
So.
I love
But
that.
anybody could pick this up and feel like they know the character, or they can identify with, something that's happened to the character.
Right.
It's definitely relatable.
Right. I love that. And what do you want, the reader to get out of each book?
Well, definitely to not be bitter, because a lot of bad things happen to the main character that remains bitter. But it's more so, I guess that leads me to genetically resilient. It's more so, when you're faced with something that's challenging, I want you to be able to tap into, your bounce back magic, to be resilient.
Yeah.
So that's where I brought into the genetically resilient for anyone that's gone through something and was able to bounce back. So I went through a divorce, and like I said, instead of becoming bitter, I wrote a book and then created a movement and then branched off to, doing apparel. And I have a lot of support. You see, there's somebody that's holding the phone there.
Awesome people out here.
Team Bitter, a group of individuals that support my vision.
I love it. And where did you come up with the name Genetically Resilient?
I was just thinking about it. I was thinking of something that would kind of catch, but also spoke to, like, it's in your genes, So I guess it was. It just made sense, you know. I played with words, and but I wanted something that anybody, could put on and be proud to rock it.
Awesome. I love it. So what type of apparel do you have? What type of clothing?
So this is very new, and I'm testing it out.
We like that.
But I have hoodies, I have V-necks,
Okay.
I have hats, like the hat that I'm wearing.
I like that hat.
I also have it in black, and it has red script in the front that says genetically resilient.
Nice.
But that's about it right now.
That sounds like a brand to me. That sounds pretty complete. I love it.
Right, and I also have. I also started off with bitter stuff, so I had like bitter hoodies, bitter T-shirts.
Right.
Bitter,
Is that the one you're wearing right now?
I have tank top on.
Yes,
It's a
bitter
little
tank top.
But it was basically an attempt to get people to say, "Are you bitter? Like, what's that? Why are you wearing bitter?" And it was, an effort to like engage people to ask me about my book, because again, the goal has been to, let people know about my book. When you don't have a big publisher behind you, you don't have that marketing powerhouse, to spread the word. So that's what I do.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And are you doing, anything else with the book and the message behind it? Like, are you going to schools or like talking with people, or is it just kind of like,
willing
here's the book?
to. Any opportunity, that's thrown at me, I usually take it. you know, because
Awesome.
it really doesn't matter if if I'm sitting down with you and you happen to talk to me, because I might not talk to you first. If you talk to me, I might, mention it and, ask you to, tell somebody about it and spread the word. But yeah.
So it's really just kind of spread by word of mouth.
It's word of mouth, and
I love
I go crazy on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter.
Awesome. So everyone can find it, you said, on Amazon?
Yes.
And how much is the book?
So this first book, Bitter, it's $16. It's first of 3.
Awesome.
And Still Bitter and Bitter Family Secrets are $20 paperback.
Awesome.
But if you get them on ebook, they're $5 each.
Ooh.
So you can go on ebook and get all 3 for less than the paperback.
Right. And I'm more of a, give me the book. I like to feel it, smell the pages type deal. Absolutely. I love it. So we actually have some of your clothing here. And I definitely want to show the audience that as well. But we're actually going to take a quick break. We're going to get set up, and then we'll be right back.
All right.
Constantly reminiscing cause I miss those kisses, ooh that red lipstick. You made me wonder why I loved you like no other. Even let you meet my mother, never kept you undercover. Had a love like a butterfly, dove flew above us. God is my witness, don't know if I find another one. You held it down for me and you had your mind right. Plus you kept me feeling good through them bad times. Last night was just a memory and she was unimportant. Really wasn't there mentally, the devil calling it got me responding. I was caught up in the moment, now it's 6 in the morning and you the one that I'm wanting. Girl, that way you fix your face when you laugh. I'm blessed to be in your presence, your essence gave me a passion. Now I don't even have something I can't imagine. An accident crash, I wish I can take it back, but it happened, it's tragic.
The sun's out, I'm feeling myself. Music's up, I'm losing myself. But I'm still stuck on you. But I'm still stuck on you. Hands up, feel me one more time. Living out of my mind. But I'm still stuck on you. But I'm still stuck on you. I'm stuck. No, I can't erase you, get you out of my mind like you were made to stay there. Got me wasting my time. Is it some kind of sign? A sun's out, I'm feeling myself. Music's up, I'm losing myself. But I'm still stuck on you. But I'm still stuck on you. Hands up, feel me one more time. Living out of my mind. But I'm still stuck on you. stuck on you. But I'm still stuck on you.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Somerville Line. I'm your host, Crystal Chandler, and I'm still here with Ms. Vick, who is doing some really awesome stuff with this book and Genetically Resilient. Now, she has a little secret on her back, and we want to show off the jacket. Genetically Resilient on the leather jacket. That is
my superhero uniform.
I love it. Now, is this part of the line, too, or is this like one of a kind?
No, this is just for me.
That's a one of a kind. Oh, there's no more. There's only one. Awesome. So we have your T-shirt here. We have your 3 books. Tell me a little bit. How did these, come together? Impact one another.
So, my books, as I said, are about challenging relationships and challenging friendships and what happens to you when you're bitter, and it doesn't advocate for you to be bitter.
Right.
And my journey is more of a representation of genetically resilient.
Okay.
I wrote the book as a response to something negative that was happening in my life, and I just tried to, create something positive from, from give a positive response to, something negative that you can't control.
Definitely.
And so we have genetically resilient T-shirts and hats and hoodies. I'll probably have some Scullies when winter hits. But that's for anybody. If you don't read my book or never know that I've written a book, you can still wear my T-shirt, and if you've gone through something, and I don't know anyone that hasn't gone through anything, it should speak to you.
Right. Right. It's whatever your personal, triumph that you overcame.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, wear it
I
proudly.
love that. I absolutely love that. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone in this world who hasn't gone through something that, changed them, better or worse, but, regardless, they came through and they pushed through.
That's bounce back magic.
That's bounce back magic. Actually, explain that hashtag, because I absolutely love that when we were chatting before the show. Bounce back magic came up. Tell me about that hashtag.
Being resilient, being able to bounce back.
Awesome. I'll be using that. Black girl magic and bounce back. I love that. Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on. We're actually going to chat more with you towards the end of the show.
Okay.
But we will be right back. Again, we have some really awesome guests who are part of the Boston Fashion Week. We're actually going to tell you a little bit about the host, who is actually from the show Power, which is a really, really nice treat. But we will be right back.
Yo, caution to the wind, I'm about to go in. One of the chosen to flow, and now I need no pen. This is the new scripture, listen and bear witness. Life's victim that found the truth in the fiction. Roots of wisdom that pass the ceilings. Have some secrets I'm past revealing. Savage images enter. Tragic endings to stories that lead to nothing but watching the blood spilling. Source willing, I can find a balance between this green machine and things I manage. I ain't make it yet, but I have no regrets. I'm moving forward and do whatever it takes to get where I wanna be. So where you wanna see, what you wanna do, who you wanna be, how you wanna live. You prepared to give the effort it'll take. Can't be afraid of mistakes. I'm chasing the greats and I'm making my fate. See, we raising the stakes, cause they be raising the rates. You say you hungry, but I don't see you scraping the plate. You talking timing, but I don't see you making them dates. On time, come on, we online, and I ain't trying to wait to shine or waste my prime. I face this grind like every last second's the last breath that I have left in this past regret. Let me show you how we make them moves. Let me show you how we break them rules. Let me show you how we do what we do. So let me show you. Let me show you how we make them moves. Let me show you how we break them rules. Let me show you how we do what we do. So let me show you when we go in, when we go in, Yeah. All aboard, who ready for the climb up? A long road, no telling where we gon' wind up. My mind plus others in the lineup. Finding ways to shine, making rewind us. And I'm primed up, always on the grind up. With the kind of rhymes designed from trust. Undust the old school, new tip. Same hits, just a captain with a new ship. But improve with the tools of a few tips. So I'm dropping jewels of true music. I just wanna hit a bass hit. Let the drums build heartbeat racing. Yeah.
Looking for the next big moment, cause I'm trying to catch a wave. Feel like I might be floating, let my problems fade away. And I stay, moving day by day. They tell me gotta pay to play, so I say, come on. Looking for the next big moment, cause I'm trying to catch a wave. Feel like I might be floating, let my problems fade away. And I stay, moving day by day. They tell me gotta pay to play, so I say.
We stood on the corner of two ownerless avenues waiting for our dinner money to come and get us high off our hands. When the hunger pangs reverberated from our bones, we trade memories of women we'd been with like fruit snacks at the cafeteria table, like ball kicks before a game shorties was sure to be at. Here, I was one of the boys. Here, if I could put dinner, war stories, or women in our mouths, no man's hunger would make me into flesh. But I think I must have looked too camouflaged in a long tee and baggy jeans, must have sounded too baritone in the monotonous hum of premature funeral hymns. My boys practiced on each other like warm-up songs before finals we'd end up losing in. I must have been the black boy in this hood, kind of ready to die. The way black masculinity stayed tiptoeing in and out of a graveyard, it built on itself, and the way the men in this car approached our bodies slow, careful, and invited as mortician hands. My mother told me if I'm gonna do the gay thing, I better keep it a secret, better keep bisexual for a safety net. She didn't tell me the whole city knows this Ave to be Gabriel's gates, and these undertakers are just bouncers ready to let women like me in free before 11. And I thought I had enough of her savory pretty to save me, but I saw them see me a corpse instead of a cooked meal to look at. Judging by the way they did not look like they wanted to devour my bones, but instead feed them back to earth. And I think about my mother and the way she tells me a woman is supposed to feed a man when he keeps a roof over her head or the roof on it, and no good man should waste a meal. So I strip my fitted cap from my skull. I pull my pants up to their tight around my thighs. I turn my masculinity inside out. I give them a reason to be hungry. At least for tonight, my boys and I won't be soil. Breeding ground for fruit, always born this spoiling. When the hearse rolls around the second time slow, the reaper and I make eyes. I smile, lick my lips, ask him what he's looking for tonight. If he likes his femme sunny side up or scrambling. There are only two reasons to be on this Ave at this hour, and both are to make these men God. And if it makes us less pray, I will bend myself into a prayer tonight. Will bend my hymn until it breaks into a million falsettos. I will bend myself for a backstand he rests his gospel on tonight. I will offer him a bite. And my boys, the kind of niggas that freestyle eulogies over Dilla beats, say nothing. They watch me unbecome one of them to be instead a memorial on this corner, a martyr on their behalf, and they say nothing. And I'm sad at how easy it was for them to watch me die there. How natural it must have looked for them to watch a man devour me whole. Either way, the man is full and decides that we are not the obituaries he wants to make his story out of and drives away. Tonight, I've made the undertaker think I was not worth the taking, and I don't know whether to celebrate being alive or if I am at all in this ever-spoiling body. I don't know if I'll ever deserve a casket in this graveyard, whether or not I want one. I don't know what black masculinity is gonna do when black femme stops showing up for it. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I die at the hands of my own misogyny. I don't know if we'll ever stop running. I don't know if the boys I'm running home beside could ever see the fractions of my death. I leave scattered everywhere we survive.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Somerville Line. Again, I'm your host, Crystal Chandler. We have such an awesome show going on right now. I'm loving it, loving it. We actually have this beautiful lady here with me, Miss Stacy Circusoon, correct? Yeah. All right. Now, I have to let everyone know how we met because it was actually pretty cool. So Somerville Media Center brought all of its lovely staff, myself included, to the Red Sox video production night. So we got to meet all of the folks who are behind the video production for, was it the Red Sox, the Celtics, the Bruins,
basically every sport.
yeah, the Patriots, was it the Revolution team as well, the soccer team. So it was really cool. And, you know, Stacy and I just kind of were chit-chatting. We vibed off of each other like so well. And you're in school, and remind me where you're in school at?
I'm in school at Curry College as a communications major with a concentration in broadcast journalism.
I love it. So we brought her on to put these broadcast skills to the test, and let's see, because you've been doing a little broadcast for a while, right?
Yeah, this summer I interned in Hingham at HCAM, which is now Harbor Media, which was a great experience. I hosted a show called Hingham Happenings, and it just basically gave you the rundown of what was going down in that town.
Awesome. I love it. So we brought Stacy on because she is going to give us a little bit of a rundown of the show Power, and also the lovely lady who's going to be hosting the Boston Fashion Week, who is an actress on Power as well. So I'm out of the loop because, like, I'm ashamed to say I haven't seen Power. I've read my entire timeline, and people have been going nuts. I think I've seen, like, little clips here and there, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to binge watch it one day, for sure. Whenever I get like a free weekend, I'm just gonna like binge watch it. But yeah, tell us a little bit about, you know, some of the stuff you found.
Oh, so Power is about a businessman who's like a drug kingpin, and he's just has a crazy life going from, but business-wise, selling drugs with all his women that goes in and out. So for Boston Fashion Week, we have Natari
Naughton, I believe. Yeah.
She's his wife, who plays Tasha. She was actually a former member of 3LW.
Oh, wow.
She had a role in Notorious as Lil' Kim. So she's a really great person to have hosting the kickoff of Boston Fashion Week.
Awesome.
And everybody's so super excited. They're filming the new season of Power right now.
Nice.
So it should be coming soon.
Okay, guys. I promise I'll catch up on Power because I'm getting some side eyes up here by these ladies.
You're not the only one. I haven't seen it either.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I don't feel so bad. There are other people out there.
Show that you can tune in and kind of catch up on what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. I like to binge watch shows, you know, like I don't like to wait like a whole week to see I think that's what it is. Like my soul knew it needed to wait until I had enough episodes to watch. That's how it works. I love it. Well, thank you so much. And we're going to have Stacy stay up here because she is actually wearing some of the clothing of my next guest, Miss Marie France M. Noel. I love that. I absolutely love that. Full name. Thank you so much for coming on. And you, again, another vendor who's going to be at Boston Fashion Week. And you do clothing and handcrafted jewelry. And so tell us a little bit about your brand and what it is.
Well, thank you very much for having me here.
Absolutely.
I'm glad to be here and among all the other vendors that's going to be participating. So my name is Marie-France M. Noel, and I am the founder and the creative director. So all the handcrafted jewelry are made by me.
Nice.
And so some of the materials that I use are wooden disc, which is one of the pieces that she's wearing next to me.
Nice.
And
So nice.
everything is light, and you can wear them all day. You go from the day to night without even sacrificing any of your precious spare time, really.
Right.
And I've also used wires, and the thing that I'm wearing is made out of wires, and I have different wire colors that from different collections, and I also hand paint on mussel shells, which we'll see later when we go to the table, to the display where you could see some of those handcrafted jewelry. So the other portion of the business is the clothing section, also with some of the unique apparels, which is really inspired by my uncle, and his nickname was Kele. So part of the business is carrying his legacy.
Right.
So Kado Kele, Kado means gift, and Kele was his nickname. He's no longer with us, so he passed away. So he was a painter.
I love it. So you're keeping his spirit alive.
I'm keeping his spirit alive. So his original paintings are used in some of my designs, and this dress is actually the leaf with the lizard on the side is part of his original painting that's on the dress.
I love that. Wow. That is really amazing. And where are you all from? Remind me?
Born and raised in Haiti.
I love it.
So the brand is really a stimulation of Caribbean art.
Yeah, I love it. What kind of inspired you to begin, doing, the jewelry and the clothing specifically? It was like you could do anything in the world, but you chose clothing and jewelry.
I think I'm really drawn by colors. I think, people ask me a lot, what's your creative process?
Right.
And it starts with colors. And I think I think a lot about how to put, colors that people would not even think about and start putting them together.
Yeah.
And I think because colors bring you joy, so I want to surround myself with things that brings you joy. So I think my brand and everything that I do my design is really to bring people joy, and even the slogan, which is live artfully, and what that really means is to inspire people to live your best life, to really live a life purposely, and to spread kindness, and to live authentically, and to inspire others and give back. I hope that by wearing either one of the jewelry or one piece of clothing, that you really get inspired and feel all that spirit and embody it while you wear it.
I love that. I mean, I think all of you, have really awesome messages behind, each of your respective brands. I absolutely love it. Tell me a little bit about, so did you start the line in Haiti and brought it over here? Kind of like walk me through that.
I started here, but that started exactly after I visited Haiti in 2010. It was July in 2010. It was the same year of the earthquake that happened in January. And I think, while it was definitely a devastating time, but I think being back home after 12 years of being here at that point, you're home. There's nothing like home.
Right, definitely.
And, being surrounded by art and, going back to where I lived and grew up. And, coming back, and I was really, really inspired by that. And I wanted to create something, long and lasting. And I've created partnerships and long-lasting relationship with some local artisans where not only everything is handcrafted and, finished touches here, but also I draw a lot of some of the pieces that I want to have made there, some of the horn that I use in my handcrafted jewelry. Also the coconut shells and other materials, they're handcrafted there, but assembled and finished here.
Wow.
And that's part of the, lasting, creating relationship and making partnerships and giving back.
Yeah.
And you can do that to art. There's so many means to inspire somebody.
Absolutely.
And, create longevity. And I think that's also an important message.
I love it. Now, is it just, who's on the committee, right? So is it just you? Do you have
Right now,
the
it's
staff?
just me.
It's just you.
Right now, it's just me. But moving forward, I definitely, hope and yearn for definitely creating a team of, a network and a team of other women and other individuals that embodies the message and definitely want to spread it.
Definitely.
And really solidify the brand.
Yeah, you're gonna have to talk to Stan because you're the one. You have the intern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys can chat, get yourself an intern.
You can teach me a few things.
I love it. So tell me, so when you're creating, the earrings and the jewelry, especially, like, is this copper or what material is that on your earrings?
This is copper.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. And then so what brings inspiration when you go to create something like this? Or is it their design, or is it just like, what am I feeling right now?
Well, so each collection actually, there's a whole meaning behind them.
Oh, I love that.
So this pair of earrings is actually the Kashima collection. So Kashima is actually, I think the fruit name in English is shioma, and what it is, there's the jelly and then there's the seed. So when you bite into the jelly, it's actually the seeds separate from the jelly in your mouth. So I think the spread of the paint is meant to mimic that. So you see that the print sort of spread. So that means, you know, that that separation that happens once you bite into the fruit. So that's the explanation.
I think I'm a little bit at a loss for words because that was like the most magical thing I've ever heard.
It's one of my favorite foods growing up. So that's where that comes from. And then this piece over here is part of the Mon collection, and Mon is mountain.
Okay.
And Haiti is a very mountainous country.
Yeah, definitely.
And so there's some flat ones, and then there's also peak, depends on when you drive in, where you're coming from and which side.
Right.
So these wires are very flexible, and I'll show you. So if you poke it, it can also rise up.
Oh, wow.
So it's very versatile.
Right.
So that's why it's called Mon. So it can rise up and come back down.
It's like a 3-in-1 type earring.
So even when you buy one piece, you can do so many other things with it. Wow. So that's the Mon collection.
Wow, I'm like truly inspired. That is so amazing.
Thank you very much.
I love it. And how do you feel, Stacy, in the clothing?
I
and
love
the earrings?
It's super light. I don't feel like my ears dragging down.
Yeah, I know, especially for something so big and round. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's not heavy at all.
Yeah.
And it's such a good, it's like a relief almost.
Yeah, and this like material is really lightweight.
Super
too.
comfortable.
Yeah, it's like perfect
Feels
for
good.
summer.
It's like a feel-good dress.
Yeah.
And then even for the winter, as we slowly transition to fall, you can wear a turtleneck underneath it, and then pair with a velvet jacket.
Oh, velvet, yes, of course.
Of course.
If you don't have a velvet jacket in your collection.
Miss Vicky over here with the
Yeah.
nice boots.
Yeah.
You can put that underneath this dress. Guess what? You're ready for fall.
Right. So get yourself a velvet jacket and some leather boots and a turtleneck and baboon.
And you rock it.
And baboon, here we are. I love that. We are getting fashion tips. That's perfect because it is Boston Fashion Week. So we're getting some fashion tips so you know how to style your dress. I love that. I've actually never thought to put a turtleneck underneath, you know, these types of dresses.
Exactly. You can always take your summer pieces and take them into fall and transition
Transform
into
them.
winter,
Yeah.
and you wear a heavier coat when it's colder out.
That's
You're good
it.
to
Throw
go.
some long johns underneath, keep your legs warm, and we are good to go.
Nobody's gonna know what's underneath.
No, they don't gotta know. Long johns, tights, the whole nine, because it gets cold here in Boston, and we have to stay warm.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I love this. Thank you so much, Marie. We're actually going to take another quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to talk to all these lovely ladies and, you know, discuss a little bit more about Boston Fashion Week. And as we take a break, just keep in mind all of the videos that we're showing during the break are from the evolution of hip-hop. So these are going to be a lot of the artists that you're going to see at the Evolution of Hip Hop event, which again is October 1st. It is a week from Sunday. Like the clock is ticking down, 2:30 to 6:30, right outside the studio in Union Square in Somerville. So you definitely want to be there. But for now, we'll be right back. Ooh, my mouth is getting dry. We have like so much time. Welcome back to the Somerville line, everyone. We are back and here with Miss Marie, who has a lovely clothing and jewelry line. And we actually want to see some more of the pieces that she has here. So do you want to kind of like walk us through what we have here and tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So earlier I talked about that I hand paint on muscle shells.
Yeah.
So this is actually one of the pair of earrings that I bought with me.
Ooh,
and what I love
that.
about the muscle shells, they're not identical. You would never be able to, you really get in one unique pair.
Yeah.
And this one is called sorbet. It can really look like dripping ice cream.
Yeah, it looks delicious.
And so the wire piece that I talked about earlier is also carried out to that collection.
Nice.
And it's, you know, just a drop dangle earrings.
Wow, I
and
love
they're
that.
super light again.
Let's show the viewers at home. This is So nice. I love it, love it, love it. So what type of, I guess, paint do you use for this? And
It's all water color paints.
this is watercolor.
Mm-hmm.
Lies you tell. I don't believe.
Yes, it is.
Wow. I thought it was like acrylic or something. It's like so smooth and really rich.
It takes a long time.
Yeah. I honestly didn't know you could get like such rich colors out of watercolors.
And what I do after, I seal it with this spray paint. That's a clear finish gloss that gives you that seal shiny that you see in the end.
Awesome. And where do you find the shells? Are you just kind of like walking along the beach?
I collect a lot of shells.
Nice.
I collect them along the beach, but then when I have to do a lot of production and I have to make 100 gift bags once, and I had to like wholesale those. But other than that, I always have shells.
You just kind of mosey on and find some shells. I love it. Cool.
And another pair that I bought is the Kashima collection that I talked to you about earlier. So that's another pair, and you can see that the paint sort of, separates from the main point. And again, what it's meant to mimic the seeds and the jelly as you bite into the fruit.
Wow, this is really, these are like, again, so like lightweight. I don't know if you guys can see that. I love that they're just not identical. They look similar, but they're not identical.
No.
And that's totally cool.
Exactly. And you can wear them in or out. So you could flip it around.
Okay. We have versatile jewelry.
Yeah,
I love it. You guys have no idea how light this is. Like it weighs nothing, literally nothing.
And lastly, what I bought here is one of our shirts that we had over the summer that you could wear. And what you're looking at is actually, we call a femme vaillant. And what that means in English is strong woman.
Wow.
And these are the women that actually carries loads of, here that you're looking at is basket on their heads. And that's just day in and out to feed their kids and their whole family, send the kids to school and feed the family, and that's actually how they care and support their family. So I wanted to pay homage to them and put that on the shirt.
I love that. There's so much going on, like in this
one
graphic.
You can see a son actually walking with him.
And you have, is that like a little like goat sheep?
Yeah, there's a little goat here.
Yeah, there's just like so many details with the leaves and even up here with the basket.
Exactly. And again, to carry this for the fall, you can have a button shirt.
Listen, give us all the tips.
You can have a button shirt underneath this. You can have if you want an all black look, you can have a black shirt, or you can have a white shirt, or you can have a black and white polka dot shirt. You could be all funky and all that underneath that, and you can tuck it in or half tuck, whatever you want, and then have skinny jeans. And you're good to go.
And what about the shoes?
You can rock whatever you want. You can have leopard print shoes.
Yes.
And be funky with it. You can do whatever you want.
So we're gonna be funky this winter, and we are going to pair all of those together. I promise. I'm gonna take pictures and put them on my Instagram. That's really awesome. I really love that graphic for sure. And where can people find you?
So I am on social media, and also we have a website. So we are on Instagram at kadokele.com, KADOKELE. And on the website is www.kadokele.com.
Awesome.
Also on Facebook, there's a fan page. It's the same name. It's KADOKELE.
Well, I'm a fan of this. I absolutely love it. So thank you so much, Miss Marie, for coming on.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
It. Yes, and she is not going anywhere. She's going to join our other two lovely ladies who are still over there on our stage, and we're going to actually chit-chat and get into who these ladies are. And yeah, we're going to have some cool conversation.
Can't wait.
Yeah, so we'll be right back, everyone. Again, thank you, Miss Stacy, for being the model of this lovely, lovely dress. I don't know if you want to do a twirl for us real quick. Little twirl, little twirl, little twirl. I love it. Thank you so much. And we'll be right back, you guys.
Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to the Somerville line. Your host, Crystal Chandler. I'm still here with these three awesome, lovely ladies who are going to be showing off their brands at Boston Fashion Week, which is coming up. We have a little treat, I think, maybe from Miss Vick.
Sure, not quite this second, but yeah.
All right, so we'll come back. We'll come back to you. Since it is Boston Fashion Week, I would like to know a little bit about each of your outfits. So I don't know if Marie, if you want to start.
I haven't put that together yet.
Okay.
I'm one of those people that doesn't really think about outfits. I kind of put it like last minute.
Yeah.
So I don't put too much effort into it, but at the same time, and again, it starts with color. and then, you know, the accessories, definitely the icing on the cake.
Awesome. I love it. So tell me about what you're wearing tonight, too.
So a pair of gray jeans. Green is my favorite color.
Okay.
So hence the
I know these shoes are really nice. I don't know if we can get a little close up on that, but those shoes are just stunning.
Thank you very much. And then I love a blazer.
Yeah.
And I love a skinny belt, and I like to accentuate my waist with just tying it in, and I think that's just a nice touch to put it together.
Definitely.
And then, you know, you have to represent your brand.
Of course.
If not you, how are you gonna have somebody else represent it?
Absolutely.
So,
and is that kind of like giraffe pattern on the belt, or I don't know what that is?
It's a leopard print.
Leopard. Pardon me. I'm mixing up my animals.
It's okay.
Absolutely. I love that. This is really nice. Again, these shoes are stunning. Where'd you get the shoes from?
I bought them at Nordstrom Rack.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
I do like Nordstrom Rack. They do have some good deals.
Yeah, they do.
I love it. And what about the bracelet?
So the bracelet, I had them custom made. And if you can, I don't know if you can see it closer, it's actually my slogan on it. And it's one of the upcoming projects for
so you're gonna
spring.
have some bracelets coming
Yes.
to us
It's actually, I'm working with a designer in Brooklyn. She makes jewelry, and she's actually a singer. And she makes jewelry, and I don't want to give too much out yet.
Yeah.
Little
secret.
Yeah, but she made these for me, and I'm gonna reach out back to her to actually make more that will be available on my site. So it says "Live Artfully," and I'm working on slogan shirts that will go along with the bracelet.
I love that. And did you make the ring as well?
Yes, the ring is made by me.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Just head to toe, just wearing your own brand. I love it.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely love it. I'm going to hop down to Sam on the end there. Same for you. So do you have an outfit for Boston Fashion Week yet?
So, well, for the first half, since I'm going behind stage with the models, I have my T-shirts with my logo. And then for the second half, I'm thinking of something, I kind of like colors. Like you said, green is actually one of my favorite colors, too.
Yay, Team Green.
Green's one of my 5 favorite colors.
I love green. So it's funny that she said that. I kind of really don't think about my outfits either. I kind of just see what I have in the closet. What is funky? Like, what's fun? And I try not to go with what everyone else wears, because that's not really my style.
Yeah.
Some people be like, you don't match. Well, it's not for you. It's really for me.
Power clash. Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're power clash.
It's for me. It's for me to feel good. So I'm thinking about like a sweetheart top dress.
Okay.
Some nice earrings. I think I might wear some of her earrings.
Yeah. I love the support.
And like a nice pointy heel shoe.
Yes.
So that's what I'm thinking. So we'll see.
I absolutely love it. And then tell us a little bit about the outfit you have on today.
So this was the same thing. I woke up and I looked in the closet and I was like, oh, I want to really wear something nice. And I was like, I wish I could buy an outfit, but as an entrepreneur, I don't have money falling off the trees yet.
Yeah,
so,
yet. Keyword.
Yes, keyword, right?
It is coming.
So I had to pick whatever was in my closet, but I was like, I want to wear something fun and funky. And I was like, what about a dress with like these booties? Like that would be different and fun.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, this is what I'm wearing today.
These are cute. And then the necklace too?
Yeah, the necklace too. This is actually from H&M. I got it a few years ago. So I think this is from H&M too. And then this is from DSW.
Awesome. We have all the brands here. And then you, Ms. Vick?
Yes, I don't know where all of my clothing came from.
Well,
I can tell you that the hat came from Vick Breedy, genetically resilient.
Yeah.
t-shirt or the tank top, Bitter.
Yep.
With Breedy. The jacket, I got at a department store, and I had it embroidered with my brand, and I'm being told to get up and stand up.
Yep, one more time. Just
And
give
I'm
us a
gonna
little,
do that slowly.
little twirl. A little slow twirl.
Show the genetically resilient.
Awesome.
Boots, I have no idea.
These are
But they're
very
fabulous.
cute, too. Yeah,
Thank
they
you.
are. I don't think I've ever seen a boot that color. You don't see that color too often.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see like a brown or a black, but.
And did you see the gold detail in
Yeah.
the back in the heel?
Oh,
Those are really cute.
Oh, excuse me, pardon me. I mean, red bottoms are out and gold heels are in. I love it. Now, for Boston Fashion Week, do you have an outfit in mind, or are you just gonna go?
I'm going to wear something genetically resilient.
Okay.
And I actually just had a hat made.
Nice.
I had my grandfather passed away, and he had a fedora, and it was dirty. It was white, but it had stains on it. And I brought it to the cleaners, and they couldn't do anything with it. And I still wanted something, you know.
Yeah.
So I didn't just want to put it somewhere and look at it.
Yeah.
So I reached out to a vendor that I vended with at the Black Market in Dudley. Her name is, well, you can find her at Mahogany Expressions on IG. And she took my hat and repurposed it. And now it went from white to like an army fatigue look. And then it has my brand on it. So I'll be wearing that.
Oh, nice.
And you can go on my page and you can see that because I posted it already. Super excited.
That's amazing. I love the tributes that we have here. Yeah, I absolutely love that. Awesome. And what about your jewelry? What are we working with here?
Watch, Movado watch, Pandora bracelet. I have a smorgasbord of stuff on.
I love it. Just piece it all together. That's how my closet works too.
Definitely.
Awesome. So do we have a little
So I was going to look for a part to read to you, but you know, some of it I can't read, you know, without giving you everything. So
Gotcha.
I'm thinking I'm going to read the back.
Yeah, let's
You
do
know,
it.
and I'm not sure if I should do the last book because that's my most recent book, or if I tell you about the first book. It's up to you.
It's up to you actually. What do you want us to know?
Let's start with the latest book, Bitter Family Secrets.
Okay.
It's the third book of the trilogy, and I'm going to read the synopsis to you. All right. Let me know if I'm loud and clear.
Absolutely.
All right. So, Bitter Family Secrets is the third and final book of the Bitter series. If you've read Bitter and Still Bitter, this book will reveal some of the family secrets that the characters hid. If Bitter Family Secrets is the first book that you've read by myself, Vick Breedy, you'll become addicted to the characters, and you'll be forced to read the other two books included in this trilogy. So, Kama's addiction is out of control. The single life allows her to explore her sexual bucket list. Will Kama catch up with her before she gets the chance to empty it? Eve has committed a crime. She flees Boston and heads to Charlotte. There, she plans to lay low and track down who she thought was her mother. What will unfold at this unexpected reunion? BJ is in love with Kama. She will do anything for her. Kama knows this and uses it to her advantage. Will BJ figure out that she's the only one in love, or will she keep allowing herself to be used? Joan could be a supermodel. Everything about her screams, I am woman. But she's very insecure. The problem is that Jonathan, he's determined to crush her self-esteem. He taunts her and stalks her to the point of depression. Will she do what it takes to get rid of him? Craig is determined to find out who killed his fiancée. Once he finds the killer, he devises an intricate plan to make sure that the person suffers on a deep level. He needs the help of a family member to do it. When the deed is done, Craig finds out just how loyal family truly is. And lastly, Claudia is in her 70s, but she doesn't feel like it. An illness forces her to come to grips with the next phase of her life. She needs to get some things off her chest while she still has time. There's one secret that she's carried with her for 50 years. This secret will change everyone's lives, and that's Bitter Family Secrets.
Wow. Wow. That's
So go get it.
Wow, 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 wow. How many different storylines did we just run through?
All the characters, I pulled them all
Yeah, you
through.
went to like the third one. I was like, oh yeah, that sounds. And then you kept going. I was like,
Yep.
wait, I need to keep count. How many characters was that?
So we have Kama, Eve, BJ,
Yep.
Joan, Craig, and Claudia. And some of those characters are pulled from, you know, book 1, book 2, and
Right.
book 3. And
So you
they're
have to
new
read all the other
characters.
books before you buy this.
But each book reads well independently. So if you were in a bookstore and you didn't know that I've written 2 other books, you could pick this book up and get a great story out of it.
But in order to get the best story,
Right.
you got to do
To
all
get the
three,
best
right?
experience, you should pick up Bitter and then Still Bitter and then read Bitter Family Secrets.
I love it. Absolutely love it. That's great. That's great. I don't know how you ladies felt about that, but
That was good. That was juicy.
I think it should be a movie.
Yes,
I
that's
also-
my goal.
I don't think I realized that it's based in Boston.
Yes, it
that
is.
the books were. I
It
don't think we
is.
had talked about that, but that's amazing.
That's
I
so
love
funny
that.
you said that.
It's a
'cause
nice
I want a
plot.
movie. If anyone knows anyone.
HBO, Netflix, Hulu,
Stars.
Lisa Ray, call me out, hit me up.
Ava,
Oprah.
Tyler,
listen, all of them.
Ava.
Yes. We're calling y'all. We're calling. I
Bitter.
love that. Yeah, I absolutely would love to see that turn into a movie. I think just like the synopsis on the back alone, I'm hooked. I'm like, this sounds real juicy, like
Yeah.
you said, Sam. And I'm ready to read that.
All right.
Awesome. So I actually want to get into, we have about like 20 minutes left here. So I want to get a little bit into self-care because that's kind of like my go-to. I love some self-care. So do you ladies have any self-care that you practice every week or every day, anything like that?
I think self-care means so many different things to different people.
Absolutely.
But for me, I think having a good routine that makes you feel good. And part of that is nurturing from inside out. I work out regularly, and I at least 4 to 5 times a week. And besides that, I'm a dancer. So that helps.
What type of dance do you do?
So I dance Haitian folklore.
Yes.
And I've been dancing since back home. And I've been in this country for about almost 20 years. And it was nice to come here and find a way to continue that legacy.
Yeah.
So I dance in Cambridge at the dance complex. I've been going there for about 13, 14 years, I think.
Okay.
So Saturday I may be there.
Yeah.
So that's where you could find me. So I dance with Jean Apollon. So I'll put a plug in for my dear friend.
Yes.
So his classes from 1:30 to 3 every Saturday. So that's where I dance.
And that's at the dance complex.
That's at the dance complex. And definitely being an artist is also self-care. I really have a lot of joy creating and making those beautiful jewelry and also designing for every collection and, you know, thinking about how do I want the woman to feel who's going to wear, you know, my design. And last and not least, I enjoy cooking.
You know what? I enjoy eating. What do you like to cook?
I enjoy cooking. So I find cooking therapeutic.
Yeah.
And people find that crazy, but it kind of calms me down. So what do I love to cook? So one of the things I love to make is chic thai.
Okay.
So what chic thai is, it's a Haitian version of bruschetta.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And there are 3 versions. And there's one they make out of smoked herring. And then there's another one they make out of salted cod. And then third, there's one they make out of ham.
Okay.
I don't like the ham one so much. My favorite one is salted cod.
Okay.
But the herring is just as delicious. So you sort of drain it a little bit because it's salty. So you have to drain the salt out. That's how they preserve it.
Yeah.
And once you do that, you saute it with olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, with shallots and a little salt and pepper, and scallion. We use a lot of scallion in Haitian cooking, and there's a lot of chili peppers in it, and and then you find a nice baguette. You could grill that or bake it, make it, really crisp, and add your salty cod on it, and you serve that with your friends, and add a little bit of parsley, a glass of wine, you're good to go.
I love it. So I love when you speak, because you literally give a whole synopsis from the outfit. I mean, she dressed us, now she's feeding us. I mean, she is thorough.
The whole 9 yards,
very,
right?
Very thorough. I love it. So maybe we might have to have you back on to, show us some of your cooking, maybe.
I would love to.
All right, we'll discuss that after the show. What about you, Vic? What do you do for self-care?
I think I just press pause.
Yeah.
Usually I realize that I need it when, I'm getting more tired and, or I'm getting sick.
Yes.
So, which is great, because tomorrow I'm actually hosting Selfish Women's Day.
Yes, tell us all about that.
And it's all about self-care. So I'll have facilitators there, licensed therapists. They're doing sessions on taking care of yourself, making yourself a priority.
Right.
Lightening the load before it gets too heavy.
Right.
So that will be held tomorrow from 2 to 6 for women, and it's free. And it's going to be located at CMCC, which stands for Community Cultural Minority Center, and it's located at 298 Union Street in Lynn. So if you can come out, it's a free event. I think it would be beneficial to anybody. I feel like everybody has a lot going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And life doesn't stop. It just becomes, you just get more and more and more, and you got to figure out a way to balance that.
Definitely.
So Selfish Women's Day is about self-care. So it was ironic that you asked about self-care.
That's ever so perfect. Yeah, so, I mean, if you all are, out there, you need something to do tomorrow.
Right.
Selfish, I love that. Just
Selfish Women's
It's
Day.
my day to be selfish.
Yeah.
And just
Take
care
care
about
of
me.
you.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, too, because you also have to, not just for one day, but implement that into,
Yes.
your daily
Your daily
routine,
routine.
your weekly routine as well.
Even if it's just half hour, you find to just
Yeah.
decompress and
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
What about you, Miss Sam? What are you doing for self-care?
So I actually suck at self-care right now.
Oh.
I did have a good routine of going to the gym, and that kind of helped me kind of relax. But now, with work and with lust and everything going on, I feel like I have no time for self-care, which is really bad. I'm just run down. So after today, I told myself starting Monday, I'm gonna go back, going to the gym, relaxing, taking time out to do things that I need to do. But sometimes I think as a young person, I get so consumed and overwhelmed, I can do all this stuff. I'm Superwoman, I'm only 26 years old, I can just take on the world. But then I need stop and take a second and be okay, I'm still young, I still need to have fun, I still need to relax. I still have a whole long life to live. So I can do other stuff later. So yeah, I'm really bad at self-care. So trying to improve starting Monday.
I think it's a work in progress, though. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone ever achieves the ultimate self-care. Here I am, I'm enlightened, I have it down, I'm perfect. I think that's the thing about self-care.
And it changes over time too.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
it shifts, and you have to readjust it, and it's okay. It could be a routine that you follow for X amount of time, and then you realize you become better at something else, or you find something else. Absolutely. You learn something else, and then you adapt to something different, and you get better at it.
Yeah, because you're constantly changing and growing, and what you need at one age may not be what you need at the other age.
Yeah.
I love it. You all are really amazing. I don't know if you guys can tell, but they're really radiating up here. Radiant. I love it. Just glowing.
Including yourself.
Oh, thank you. So every show, I love to ask my guests, because we're all about empowerment here at the Somerville line, what advice you would give to, junior you or someone who, young people are coming up who, want to make jewelry, who want to write, who want to have their own, like nail polish line, what do you say to them? Because I think it's all about giving back. I think you had mentioned that, Marie, and, that's kind of like our way of giving back every week is, giving, the youth a little tidbit, a little tip, from what they see on our show. Because I think what's also really awesome about our show is that we show a plethora of different people and a plethora of different, avenues and channels that you can go in life. So, yeah, I don't know if you want to start, Sam. Let's work our way this way.
Well, one thing I would say to anyone interested in starting their own brand is you have to be yourself. You have to really own up to who you are, who am I, why do I sincerely want to do this, not I just want to own my own business because it's cool. Like, no, why is it so personal to you? Like, you have to kind of tell your truth through your brand. Right. And it's going to be trials and triumphs, and it's not easy, not by far. Like, there's nothing about this process that's easy, nothing. It's obviously it's fun and it's fantastic, but it's not easy, and you kind of have to like guide yourself and have patience. I think patience is key. You have to have patience, perseverance, and be true to yourself. And make your brand it doesn't have to be all about you, but whatever you want your brand to represent, represent your brand based on who you are. So I have an example. One thing I was thinking about for my next collection was like, what am I gonna like name my collections after? Like, how am I gonna do this? What am I gonna focus on? And I was like, I want the collection to kind of just be free. But one thing I want to touch on was like Black Girl Magic. Yes. But I was nervous because I have other consumers that aren't Black. Right. So how would they feel painting their nails with a polish that said Black Girl Magic? But then I had to step back and say, well, I'm the CEO, I'm the owner, I'm the co-founder, I fund my own brand. So if this is what I want to put out there, obviously I can explain, this is what this means. It doesn't mean that it's only for a Black girl. Right. This is just honoring the Black woman and the Black person that I am. So I'm just saying this color represents Black Girl Magic. So it's a glitter color, it's a multi-glitter color. So it basically shows it's basically a reflection of all the different shades that, women of color are. And it's just something to empower me, and it's something to empower others. But I didn't want it to deflect and make people feel offended. Right. So that was kind of one of the things I was struggling with. And I was like, you know what, this is my brand. Like, this is why I'm the CEO. This is why I own my own company, because I can make the rules. And then you can just explain. So if I wasn't true to myself, I felt like I would have missed out on that and not had that. And I would have been like, I should have did that. Should have, could have, would have, right? Yeah. So that's just something you kind of have to come in turn and just own who you are, even though it's sometimes hard because you feel like, as a younger person, you might think other people are kind of like, not better, but you're like, oh, she has this going on or they have this going on. So you kind of just have to take a step back and say, well, I'm great too. And this
know yourself.
Yeah,
right?
and
just like know who you are and keep yourself grounded.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you. Ms. Vick.
Thanks.
So thorough. I love that. Vick used to say ditto. Yep.
What would I say? I'd say to anyone, not even somebody just wanting to write. What inspired me was something negative, So I think the message that I would put out there is to, I guess it goes back to bounce back magic. Create a positive response to something, that's happened that's negative or challenging, in your life. So that's what writing was. That's what, writing bitter was. It was me writing instead of, taking a brick and throwing it through somebody's window.
Right.
But yeah, I would say that. But I guess it's like turning lemons into lemonade. that whole thing. And I'd like people to know that it isn't easy, like she said, and you have to invest in yourself, and you do have to be doing it for the right reasons. Like, I just wanted to tell the story. You know, once I found out the story was good, I was like, oh, well, maybe it could generate some income also. So let's look at it like that.
Why not?
Right. You know, so that led me to write book 2 and book 3, and, you know, putting out apparel and, you know, stuff like that. So it's definitely not easy. I'm also an independent author. So, you know, I fund myself. And you just have to believe in yourself, you know, and not need it to come from somewhere else, you know, and, you know, believe in the unbelievable, I guess, you know. But yeah, that's the advice that I would give. Turn something that negatively affected you into something that you grew from, you know, and let that be, you know, your reward.
I love that. I absolutely love that. We have about 2 minutes left, and the floor is yours, Miss Marie.
I think I would focus on purpose. I think you have to find a purpose in the messaging, because I think that's important. It's not just, you know, I think all of us touch on that. It's not just having a brand and just think about the outcome and then focusing on that. But I think what sells it and then what empowers it or what expands it and grows the brand is the message. And how you do that, it's really, it takes time to perfect that. It took me time to decide on what the slogan would be. I had a few slogans that didn't make sense to me. And once it doesn't make sense to you, how would it make sense to everybody else? And how do you explain it? And you will know when it does, because once you explain it to others, you do it with such fluidity that it makes sense, and you believe in it, and people hear your heart and passion in it. And it just makes sense. And I think that's what has to be at the core of your brand, is the purpose.
This is so great. Absolutely loved it. We have about, again, 2 minutes left here. But really quickly, where can people find you? Where can people find you? Where can people find you?
You can find me at www.lustvcosmetics.com, and all social media is V Cosmetics or Lust Cosmetics.
Awesome. Vick.
Okay, you can find me at vickbreedy.com. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Vick Breedy. You can find me at Frugal Bookstore in Roxbury. You can find me, did I say Amazon?
And on Amazon.
You can find me on Amazon.com, and, you know, if you Google Vick Breedy or Bitter by Vick Breedy or something, you know, Still Bitter, it'll give you other vehicles to purchase my books.
Definitely. I know we're running down on time here, but, you know, if you guys are still tuned in, we're still live on YouTube as well, and I definitely want to get Miss Marie, you know, where can people find you?
They can find me on kadokele.com, KADOKELE.com. All social media, the same address, at KADOKELE. Thank you.
Thank you to all three of you for coming on the Somerville line. This has probably been, this is amazing. I love it. I think you guys all have, you know, beautiful messages and really awesome brands, and check them out at Boston Fashion Week. They're going to be there. They're going to have all the lovely things that you saw here on the show tonight. Make sure to follow them on all the social medias. Again, thank you to Miss Marie, Vick, and Sam for coming on the show. This is so amazing. Again, guys, a week from Sunday is going to be the Evolution of Hip Hop event right outside the studio in Union Square. We're going to have Oompa, who's headlining it. We're going to have tons of vendors out there. It's 2:30 to 6:30. You don't want to miss it. Tell a friend to tell a friend to come on down. Even if you're passing by in the bus, you can hop off the bus and come on down. But we definitely want to see you guys out there. So until next week, this is the Somerville Line, and I'm your host, Crystal Chandler. Thanks for watching.
Hello? There we go. Yo, I need my youths. Come on, man. Come join me. Yo, come through. Yo, Lee. Come on, man. Come on here. Yeah. yeah. Like when I'm with you, riding around all day. Without you wouldn't be the same. A little different, but it's alright now. Stay. That's alright. Stay with your love. Come in the train my way. Thinking about you all day. And my life's purpose. Like when I'm with you, riding around all day. Without you wouldn't be the same. A little different, but it's alright now. Stay. This a new chapter, could not have come faster. Last one didn't last, kind of a disaster. But I learned how to control, yes, I'm the master. And I run faster than a lot of y'all that I passed on. Y'all here for a hot minute, running 55 and 105 limit. DJ spin it, cause they go with it. I'm finna spin it like my rhymes are rehearsed and written out. Sitting on the throne in the comfort of my own. Got a queen of our dome. Don't kill it. This is the life and we live in. Ridded our minds of negativity. Now everything is positively entertaining. We and nothing was ever the same for me. How sane could be? If I was able, I'd be came to be. And say to me, got a job who blesses raw with the. And he the judge. Okay, riding around all day. Without you wouldn't be the same. A little different, but it's alright. I'll stay. That's alright. I'll stay. Digga. Come in the train my way. Thinking about you all day. And my life's purpose. Like when I'm with you, riding around all day. Without you wouldn't be the same. A little different, but it's alright, I'll stay. Let me tell you a little something about these motions. Got me running back and forth. It's the tug for the earth, like the line got me whole. All your pieces got me whole. Watch the film, slow the road. Nice to know we all sinners get to heaven. That's the goal, no doubt. Now check it out. Love is what it's all about. Even if you gotta climb the mountaintop and shout it out. Looking for it in all the wrong places. Looking in pretty faces with personalities with no traces of authenticity and background. We got a generation by the pound with same sound, sprouting from the same ground. But if you want something, yo, you better be loud. They ain't gonna hear you over the crowd. Now I'm proud of how my mind is right now and how things are going for me right now. Hey, I'm setting the theme right now. Love is serious, so love. When I'm with you, riding around all day. Riding around. Woo! Word. Yo, shout out to my youths, man. Shout out to Jasmine. Yo, shout out to you. Yes. Fire for sure.
Yo, we're fire! Yes! Wait, come back here and tell them where they can find you. Because we're about to get kicked out.
Y'all can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, and YouTube at K-Orcel. That's K-A-Y-O-R-C-E-L, like lion. Check me out. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, A to Z. Thank you so much for all of you guys who came out here and performed. This has been the second annual Evolution of Hip Hop event, and we are done. All right.
Beautiful you, and beautiful me too. Beautiful you, and beautiful me too. Beautiful you, yeah, and beautiful me too. Beautiful you.